the dream come true for you?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United 1, Fulham 0 at Craven Cottage. Sir, if you need a result, if you need a win, United has had some good fortune, especially in the dying moments at Craven Cottage. If you remember last year, Garnacho got that late winner right before the World Cup break. And today, Bruno Fernandes in the 91st minute earns United 3 points. It was an ugly performance. I'm not going to lie. Really bad call in the first half on VAR, overturned a goal from McTominay in the 8th minute. And I think United was deflated after that. No excuse. Didn't play well enough throughout large parts of it. But I think we fought back in the second half. When Facundo came on for Anthony, I think they made a huge difference. Anthony just looking exposed all game. But who had a good game? Magoo had a good game. He continues to perform. AWB looks like a clear upgrade over Delo, even though Delo is, he's trying his hardest. And then even Mason Mount, your boy, coming in. But either way, ugly win, but an important win and a big 3 points. And the craziest stat I saw today, sir, is that Manchester United, 11 points in, is exactly the same place that we were in last year. We were at 18 points. We were at 18 points last year. And you know what? Everything to play for. We're not playing like we were last year, but we're in the same position. How we doing?
Like you said, everything to play for. Huge result for the manager. Exactly what the doctor ordered when you are floundering and drowning. The thing that could pick you up would be a late winner. Away, we've been horrid away. I felt like there was some good one touch at times in the lead up to the goal. I did like Palestri out there on the right, changing things up. I feel like whenever there's crisis at a club or a manager's going through it, he's going to be searching for players who can pull him out of the depths. 100%. And Palestri was huge in the lead up to that goal. And I've been talking about, why aren't we playing that kid? Why is Anthony the default the whole way through? Because he keeps playing him even though he isn't on form. But Palestri, the injection that we needed, the energy from the youngster, because you're going to find hungry lads in the squad, like McTominay being one of them. He's a dog. Onana is showing up. Lots of good themes from this game. Clean sheet, fans rocking. Craven Cottage, we've been there away. They sell out the whole stand, sir. It's an amazing away day if you go to it. And a big win. Look, the half empty.
Give it to us.
Low energy, out XG to Fulham. They created the opportunities. Onana probably bailed us out. VAR's, controversy again. That's just going to continue. We'll get into that one when we break down the game. But is this enough to turn it around? I think this is, you're getting that type of the Fulham away 1-0. Celebrate like you won the league, you're a little concerned, It's what we needed. It's 3 points. It's great, but we need to be thinking about the cities, the Newcastles. Like, how are we going to crack in the top 4? How are we going to claw to save our champion, to get in the Champions League knockouts? That's really what our focus should be on. And if we go away and beat Copenhagen, look, you got some momentum. I'm saying, Fulham, job well done. I thought we would win today. I thought we'd look better. I thought it'd be easier to win today. But to get a late winner from Bruno is great. It's on to Copenhagen. You can win there, get a little good juju in the Champions League. I think you're talking about a comeback. But right now, it's hard to say.
Yeah, we're a long way from that. I totally agree. It was not satisfying in many respects. We wanted to see 90 minutes of good performance, or at least majority, 60 minutes. And it was frustrating at times. There were long spells of it where we just weren't playing quickly enough, weren't playing dominating enough. But like you said, this team is struggling. We're hurting. We're not playing well. The manager is frustrated. He's not always getting his 11 right, far from it. Some of the players that he's bought, they've been flubbing. And some of the players maybe are starting to show themselves. I think Onana has been building and building ever since that penalty save, 5 games ago. Anthony looks a proper bluffer. But Facundo getting his moment was nice. It was refreshing, and I understand the over-celebration. It's like they're dying for it. And you know what? I think they unfairly lost a goal early on in the first half. That when you get that winner, especially at Craven Cottage, something about that stadium, I understand exciting celebrating like that because we're in a tough place, bro. It's tough times it's tough times for Manchester United, and we can take whatever result we can get. Today is just a baby step. Copenhagen's the big one, man. Like it's good. They're gonna be.
No, that's the
I
big
would imagine
match.
the
That's the big
Danes
match.
are gonna get up for it. I would imagine the home crowd in Copenhagen I would be fired up for Manchester United coming to town, wouldn't they?
They're not titans of Europe, let's be honest.
They're Fulham.
But like here, like if you're really calling it straight, you're calling balls and strikes from my purview. It's like we played shit against a bad side again and barely got a win. And that happened against Sheffield United. That happened against Wolves. You look at the stats from XG. XG away from home, we're 15th in the table. We're just not playing good football at the moment. You can get away with one with Bruno Fernandes. He's world class. He made a move, a little hero ball FC there for you. Gives you the 3 points, but what is it going to get you? You need total football. You need everyone on the pitch in good form. We don't have that at the moment, and we are not generating the stats that would suggest that, and we aren't. The eye test isn't being passed at all whatsoever, so we have to find a way to survive the doldrums and get into playing some good football, because you're going to get exposed if you're 15th in the table away from home in XG. That's just going to catch up with you at the end of the day. And the fact that we're not, the fact we matched on points from last season, that's good
crazy.
news.
It's crazy. I
That's
couldn't
good
believe
news.
it. I had to double check it.
That's good news. So like,
news.
season's not gone yet. We're not playing great. We're somehow edging out results. Let's keep up the momentum and see where it takes us. But you know, I do have some concerns of what the eye test says and where we are on the stat sheet.
I don't disagree, man. I 100% agree with you. I think, I don't want to make it about this, but they're making it about this. The VAR call was the worst VAR call. One of the worst I've ever seen. It's like you have no position. We want to get into it. We got to do a preamble as well. But the team isn't playing well. We're not getting any breaks.
Your VAR rage takedown will be coming
I'll
up
save
shortly,
it.
sir.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I want to save that bottle.
I'm putting it back in the
tried
cage.
to open that
I'm putting
bottle.
it back in the cage. But your point is well taken, which is that we cannot continue to rely on individual brilliance to get us results. We have to play better as a team. We need our forwards to score fucking goals. We have the lowest amount of goals from forwards in the entire EPL, lower than Sheffield United. We're the bottom of the league, and that is not acceptable. The players need to step up, bro. And I know Anthony's a joke, but like we got to feed Højlund. He's not getting enough of the ball. And someone's got to step up. And thankfully, Bruno did today. But like you said, we can't rely on guys scoring screamers at the last minute to win us games against the good teams, because Fulham's not a good team.
You heard it here. If you like the American Red Devils and you want to support the Muppet Take during these tough times, this is a Manchester United supporter. That's right. During these tough times, there's Manchester United fans hurting around the world, and we want to get the Muppet Take to them. You want to support the Muppet Take, help us get it out there. Check out our Patreon page. We don't have any commercial sponsors on the podcast. We keep it ad-free. The way we do that is because we have amazing fans supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/American Red Devils. We just dropped our October Patreon episode. You get one every month and tons of other benefits. It's totally worth checking out. Please sign up. Patreon.com/American Red Devils. Also, check out our store, AmericanRedDevils.store. You want to support our manager, grab an Eric Ten Hag's Red Army EFL Cup Champs scarf. It's limited edition. There's limited prints, or you get one before it's gone, that or before the manager's gone. You can get hoodies, you get beanies, you get stickers and everything as well. AmericanRedDevils.com. Also, check that out. Get blog content from the fans, for fans, by fans, sir. Tell them about iTunes reviews.
Speaking of which, sir, it's beanie season. The winter is coming, and that beanie is top draw, one of our finest items. So check out the store. Another great way to support the pod is write a review, write 5-star reviews wherever you listen, ideally on iTunes or Spotify. That's where it really makes a difference. And even better, we're giving away free giveaways, giving away free American Red Devils design scarves. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free ARD scarf. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Just sent out a shit ton yesterday, all over the place, all over the great United States of America, as well as Canada, Iceland, Germany, New Zealand. So we appreciate everyone listening week in, week out, because this has been tough. Very, very tough. I know we're in the same place we were last year statistically, or at least from a points perspective in the league, but it doesn't feel like it because we were playing better football last year. But hey, there's still some hope left. You know, we're still in the Champions League. We need a big, big result on Wednesday in Denmark.
That's right. We're talking Fulham 0, Manchester United 1, Craven Cottage. Let's get into that 11. Onana, Delo, Johnny Evans. Here's Johnny. Magoo, that big head would come in handy. Wan-Bissaka, Eriksson, McTominay, Garnacho on the left, Bruno in the hole, Anthony on the right, and Højlund up top. Sir, what do you make of that 11?
Some question marks. I didn't realize Rashford was hurt. He wasn't even available. McTominay in midfield, I'm still curious, where's Mount? Mason Mount,
I think
60
Rashford
million pounds.
pulled a muscle in the club.
He got injured in training yesterday.
Club,
Mr. Conspiracy
Theory.
Have you ever found? This guy never found an injury conspiracy theory he didn't wrap his arms around and give a big wet kiss to. Yeah, exactly. I'll save that for the VAR call, bro.
Was it the club or was it an injury? Is Varane sick?
Who knows,
sir,
bro? There's all kinds of question marks.
There's a lot of question marks. He's looking for loyalty.
Garnacho,
he's looking for loyalty.
I think that's why you see McSauce play. I think that's why you keep seeing McSauce play. And you know what? He should have gotten his goal. That's where he's dangerous. He's dangerous in the box. We're less effective in the midfield with him playing. I was happy to see my boy AWB back. I thought he looked great. Anthony on the right, he proved his worth, which is 0. But Garnacho, he still makes errors, but he's lively. He works hard. Højlund, same thing. Bruno, finally in a central position. So what do you think of it when you saw it, sir?
I think he's looking for loyalty. I think there's something's afoot, X-Files theme, whatever you want to call conspiracy. Rashford kind of on the bench. Look, it makes sense. If he went out and that was not allowed by the manager, he probably should sit a game. That's what Ten Hag likes to do. Call it a knock. Call it what you want, sir. Varane being sick, mysterious illness for a week. This is one of those things where the Johnny Evans tactical start against City that he defended in the press is kind of strange, but we see it here. You look at this 11, we got better players in this, and he's not playing them. And I don't know why, but my gut tells me something's going on, and he's looking for loyalty. That McTominay's loyal. He's a dog. Garnacho is too. And Palestri, they don't care. They're trying to get out there, showcase their talent. And at the end of the day, we should be looking for players who want to play for the badge. We don't need players that are going to be feuding with the manager. So
100%. Whoever the manager may be.
If this is the 11, it's the 11. Let's get into it. First half, United start brightly, but fade after this VAR call. We will get into this one. Alex has his rage ready to go.
And there's Maguire, and it was touched in by Scott McTominay as a subjective offside decision.
If anything, Muniz is just trying to deal with Harry Maguire, isn't he?
Offside it is.
All right, tell me how you feel about that call.
So you said don't get too mad. I'm a Manchester United diehard. Love this club to death. We've gotten a lot of bad calls this year. I could go through the Romero handball, the Gabriel tackle in the box, the Garnacho offsides call last weekend against City, the Rodri. I mean, if it's not called offsides on the field, the VAR does not need to go through and look for any minuscule reason to overturn a goal. This is not overturned for an Arsenal. This is not overturned for a City, a Scousers, even a Newcastle now. They're getting calls. And it's ruining the game, bro, because we're talking, I know United's not playing well. I'm not defending the way we're playing. I'm not defending the 11s, but we should not be getting goal after goal after goal taken away from the team because it makes it all about VAR. And VAR's a fucking joke. They need to scrap it. And the real thing is, you know what? Here's a point. Eric Ten Hag needs to call out the fucking refs like all the other top managers do. Because you know what? When Klopp does it, they respond. Arteta went on a 4-minute whinge after they got a questionable call, which was even more kind of hard to call than this one. And it's ruining the game, bro, because it's there's no reason to overturn that call. The other ones are okay, Romero handball, well, I don't know, he's close. That's preposterous. The goal, let it stand, he's onside. They call it a subjective offsides. What the fuck is a subjective offsides? Never heard that in my whole life. Keep me calm.
You all right? You good?
You
good? You feel better? Okay, good. Pod therapy, that's what we're here for. This call is Maguire's offside. The Fulham player can play the ball, and he knocks into him. So at the end of the day, yes, technically it's offsides. If you assume that the defender could play the ball, right? When you're just reading the letter of the law, right? If you have an offside player interfering in the play in a material fashion, it could be offside. So the rule is understood. The question here is consistency from VAR, right? That's all we're talking about this entire year is that VAR has been inconsistent, and ultimately that is leading to the game getting just ruined and creating these horrific situations, and everyone's complaining. How replay goes is when it's instituted in a game or in a sport, it's a decade of misery. right? Like we saw it in the NFL for 10 years. It was absolutely horrific.
Was it 10? Did it take that long for them to fucking flush it out?
More than 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you start doing subjective offsides, you're fucked. And then you realize like you shouldn't do that, and then it takes multiple years to like figure it out, and then eventually replays just kind of in the background, and anything egregious it just catches, right? As it should be. And the problem is by process of elimination, you have to decide where replay should be involved and where it shouldn't. And right now it's involved in everything, which is why there's so much inconsistency, and eventually it'll be like narrowed down just to like, you know, red cards and confirming handballs. And even handball is going to get better because the scrutiny that VAR is, the human error and misinterpretation of the rules with VAR is going to make the rules ultimately better. So in a decade, it will get there. We're in like probably the worst season of VAR. The worst season of NFL replay was like 3 or 4 years in because they were like, oh, we should use it for everything. And then you have to learn where to draw the line. Yeah. And so I think this season, when you look back on it, will be the season of VAR. Somehow it could decide the title. But like you said, they should not be doing subjective offsides. But letter of the law, like it looks to me like the defender can play the ball and Maguire's in the way. But I don't think they're going to – I doubt they're reviewing that for every single goal. And ultimately, like with the penalty that City got, they're not doing that for every free kick.
No, they're not.
They're not looking at it for – so you can't call that. And so this is kind of where the issue is with VAR for me. So like I just expect more riffraff from VAR. So maybe I'm not as frustrated as you because it seems like it's just going to be a nightmare.
And it has been a nightmare. And we've gotten a disproportionate amount of bad calls. If you look at it, ESPN did the stats. We've gotten the most bad VAR calls this season. We've lost 4 goals already, and it's only 11 games in. And it's the consistency. It's like the nitpick factor. I don't want to win too much, but we started brightly. We score a goal. They unfairly overturn it, and then we lose our mojo. And, you know, there's no excuse. Like, City wouldn't lose their mojo, but we did, and that's just frustrating. And you know, I like close my eyes for a little bit because if they take the goal away, you're like, what the fuck are we watching, bro? What's the point? Every goal we score, of course it's soft. That's not the point. The point is we scored, and they took it away for no reason.
Like Newcastle hit 3, and we don't got a reaction, you know? So it's like Newcastle B team hit 3, we don't got a reaction. So it's like VAR taking the wind out of our sails. It's like, go score again. It's like, this is Fulham. This ain't the Titans of Europe. This isn't the semifinal of the Champions League. We scored again
in the second half.
Exactly. But to say that this is like we can't overcome it is
if it was one off, that's one thing. It's been like every single game United's gotten a bad call this season, just about.
34th minute, good chance for Bruno, but he can't get enough power on the shot. Look, should have done more in the first half. You know, like, hey, great goal, unfortunate from VAR, but we're United, they're Fulham. You know, we never sweated it this much back in the day. Second half, more open. United not as dominant. This is kind of when it was a little mashed potatoes. Anthony doing nothing. He's getting a lot of criticism. Look,
rightly so.
You pay the money. We talked about it at length yesterday, sir. Alex and I went out to a nice steak dinner. He got me a steak dinner for my birthday a long time ago. I cashed it in yesterday. What are we doing during the dinner? We're arguing about Manchester United.
The last hour.
Anthony included the whole thing. It's like, you know when you're at a nice dinner and people are in a heated discussion and it's kind of awkward for the waiters to come in and give you your food. Like, that's what me and Alex.
Hey, you need anything with your steak? It's
we're
like,
just
shut up, man.
We're like talking about the crisis that is United. So basically. United aren't great. You know, we're feeling the heat here. We're just full them up. It's 24/7. Anthony was a part of that conversation. And like I said, the price tag ruined a player.
Yep.
Fairly or unfairly, this price tag is going to ruin Anthony. You buy him for 40, nobody cares.
Yep.
You paid the money we paid. That is hanging on his head. You can't sell him. It's a career. You know, he could go back to Brazil. You know, this is a career-ending price tag deal. Optics just makes it untenable and just brutal. Because he comes out, Facundo comes in, and that was a great change.
Great change
for United. But by the way, we bought Facundo and Ahmad before we paid 80-something million for Anthony, which is even more insane, which is after we bought Sancho, which is even more insane. So the stress keeps mounting.
But what does that say about what you said actually last night at dinner? You know, on both sides of the table, sort of things were said, which is like you just buy pots and pans. You buy nickels and dimes, right? Ahmad was 30, Facundo was 13 million. It's like you don't buy a player for 70 million, 80 million. It puts so much pressure on them that unless they're like an Erling Haaland or Son or Kane, it's like they're not going to be able to live up to that. And then the weight of the cash is just over their head all the time. And instead, you should be buying players that are on the up. You know, Ahmad and Facundo have been a really long time coming. But we got to stop. Hopefully, this ends with Hopefully this ends with Ratcliffe. Hopefully Ratcliffe comes in, puts in a DOF, whether it's Erik ten Hag or the next manager, someone to provide oversight so it's not like, we're spending big money on a player who's maybe worth half of it. And that has to stop tomorrow. That has to stop.
Has to stop. 71st minute, nice chance for Plestri, but he can't get enough power on the shot. 79th, double sub, Martial and Mason Mount. Mason Mount looked good when he came on. Højlund and Eriksson off. 83rd minute, nice free kick from Bruno. Tests the keeper, but doesn't bend enough. And then there was a bit of magic. We ain't dead yet.
Pelistri. Bruno Fernandes. Beautifully done. Bruno Fernandes on his 200th appearance for Manchester United. With a goal to change the mood and to lift hearts.
His captaincy credentials have come under scrutiny. But it's a really big moment for him, for Erik ten Hag, for Manchester United. He's got a lot to do on the edge of the box. He twists, he turns, he finds McTominay, it comes back to him, and he sells two players. Leno gets there, but he can't keep it out. How big a moment could this be?
Just like Cristiano came from Sporting, sir. Portuguese Magnifico. What a goal from Bruno Fernandes. Sends him the other way. Leno could do better there, but he squeaks it in. It's the magic that man, our bald man, needed. 3 points, sir. The away fans, they deserved it going down to London. What a day. We needed that 3 points.
I'll tell you what. United away fans are the best in the world, and something about Craven Cottage, the way they set it up, that it's like the whole one end, and then they just take it over, bro. We've been there. We've seen a result there.
Dude, we were in like the 9th row.
We had
like
incredible
behind
seats.
the goal.
We lucked out. That's a long story for another day. But either way, an important goal, an ugly win, right? Not convincing in any regard. You talk about the XG. They edged us with the VAR call, taking away that goal and the XG that came along with it. But not good enough. But you know what? It's about winning. It's about getting 3 points. And it's like, this is where we're at, bro, by hook or by crook. So I can't be, beggars can't be choosers. And I'm a beggar at the moment.
No, not at all. And, you look at teams getting hard done by XG across the weekend. It's very few, but Fulham 1.18 to Manchester United's 0.7. Not good enough. You look at City 2.4 to Bournemouth's 0.64.
And scored 6 off a 2.4.
It's unbelievable. And Newcastle sitting down Arsenal as well. But they hit them on XG. And they're just getting in the stat sheet here. 18 shots for Fulham. That's why they outdid us. 12 to United. 3 on target for Fulham. 5 on target for United. But it was the quality, like the Paulinho opportunity that Onana stepped up big. 45% of the ball to our 55%, sir. But like I said, the XG is kind of showing you it was even. You add back that VAR opportunity, it was just down the middle, even and away from home with like no attack, no teeth in attack. It's just not good enough for United, but a bit of magic from Bruno. We win, but we just got to keep this. We got to somehow get form.
We do.
There's one game this year that I was like, wow, we played well, showed up, dominated, and that was EFL Cup Crystal Palace B team. Yeah, that's the only game. I'm holding out. I hope that won't be the case, but man, that's not good enough from this team.
100%. I'm not going to defend that. 100%. I feel like today the midfield was starting to get it a little bit. The defense was, I thought Maguire played really well, AWB as well, but the attack had nothing doing. Anthony was just a pedestrian. Højlund was getting no service. Garnacho was trying, to his credit, but we just looked disjointed, and I think it's like you got to get some results, and the results hopefully lead to better performance because a bit of his confidence, a bit of its lineup. I think you're definitely right. Like he was picking a loyalty 11. He knows his head's on the fucking chopping block. Erik ten Hag, that is, and he was picking boys that he knows will fight the extra mile. McTominay being one, maybe Evans. I don't want to do the
what does it say?
Varane.
What does it say? Varane's not there. Rashford's not there.
Rashford's injured.
I mean, like, yeah, I
don't know the Varane thing. The Varane thing
he hasn't
doesn't
played
make sense
well all season.
No, he hasn't.
Boys with Sancho,
one goal.
like there's something. I don't know. I honestly, I do not know what makes these players tick.
No.
And this season, something's been off. But sir, like, this is Fulham. they had the XG on us, but they don't have the strikers to put the ball in the net. Like, they don't have the talent. Like, at the end of the day, when we play better teams, we're going to Anfield in December, and people are going to put you to the sword. And Copenhagen is a better team than Fulham, and they'll be able to score at home, sir. And that's going to be, for me, the Copenhagen is more of the proper test. I think Fulham away, I expected us to beat them. Copenhagen away, I expect a draw, realistically, for where we're playing. If we come out and we play well and beat them by a significant margin, I need us to outperform.
Got to play better than them. We have to play a good game, play 60, 70, 80 minutes of good football, play as a team, create chances for your forwards, take your chances, defend as a unit. We're low. We could play a lot better.
He was playing a massive game, so very good performance. Showed leadership, and in and out of possession was very good. So very pleased with that performance from Harry.
Did Harry Maguire go through the concussion protocol? Was he concussed?
No, he has a hand injury.
No concussion?
No.
And just another subject on Rashford. Was he injured after your Friday press conference?
Yes. He had some complaints after the training. I didn't know at that moment. He traveled with us, but today the complaints were that much. He couldn't start. It was a risk to start him, to lose him over more weeks and so games. So we didn't want to go in that risk because we have many more important games to play.
Just on a bigger picture, a great win for you today. You must be thrilled.
It's I think it's a good win, solid performance.
Solid from the manager, sir. Look, comments on Rashford injured. Solid performance from United.
Big ups, Harry.
Hey, Harry, concussion protocol didn't even phase him, bro.
You see that head, bro? He got knocked down in the first minute. He started playing better, bro. He started playing better.
Sometimes you need a concussion to wake you up and be like, oh, let's go.
He thought he was, someone on Twitter was like, he got knocked in the head, thought he was in Greece. He's like,
let's get after it, sir. We got a next match, and let's hear that music. Sir, those angelic voices are back, baby. We're not out yet. We're not out yet, baby. We're third. We're in that Europa League spot.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, falling into the sand pit like Boba Fett and the Return of the Jedi, we are trying to claw our way out. This game in Copenhagen, must-win territory for Manchester United. And how have we done in must-win territory this season?
Not good, sir. Not good at all. But you know what? If you ever needed a time to step up, have a performance, this is a team that you have to be able to beat.
This is it.
This is a huge game.
This is the time we step up.
You win this game, you know what? You're in a much better position. Galatasaray, that's going to be a nervy one going to Turkey. But this is the one you have to win, must win. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous every game now, so there we are.
All right, we're third in the group with 3 points. Galatasaray 4, Bayern on 9 points. Copenhagen with 1. They're going to be desperate. They're going to be going for it, sir. Look, music's so good it makes me forget how shit we are. Look, we're going to the Parkin Stadium.
How shit are we?
We're shit.
Yes.
Simply
You ever
known-
been? You ever been to the stadium?
I have been to the Parkin Stadium. This is the one where they sell you like as many beers as you can carry, but they actually have like a cardboard 6-pack, so you can buy 12 Carlsberg beers. Carlsberg, like
They have Carlsberg?
probably the best beer. It's Danish. Carlsberg's Danish,
Oh, you're right.
obviously, and then they drink it everywhere. So you got Carlsberg, Tuborg. You got Christmas beer as well. I don't know if the Christmas beer won't be ready to go for this game, but this is a great stadium. Will be a great environment. But they're there for the taking. Copenhagen, 1 point.
There's a 3 Michelin star restaurant in the fucking stadium. That is wild, sir. And I bet you their beer is cold and not. I always make up Carlsberg and Carling. Carling is what they serve at Old Trafford, and it's as bad of a beer as you'll find.
Look, everything in Denmark, they do it tidy.
They're a happy
they
country.
know what they're
Happiest
doing.
country in the world, sir.
Sir, it's been a few years since I've been there, but look, it's a great stadium. Will be a good atmosphere. And look, Copenhagen, we played them. It was pretty even. 5 shots on target for United, 4 for them. 51-49 possession. It's going to be tight. They had the penalty that was saved by Onana at the death. That pretty much gave us the points that could get us into the knockout round. So if we do qualify, it'll be by the hair on our chinny chin chin. I do not want to go to Europa League. We've seen that movie
no.
before, and I really don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it? You don't feel like covering Uzbek?
The match will be played November 8th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Lifetimes versus Copenhagen. 3. We've won 3, lost 1. First time we played them 2006. Beat them 3-0 in the Champions League. And obviously the most recent meeting, we beat them 1-0. Since Copenhagen, they've hit 4 against Herverde and beat Midgetland a 1-0 in the Danish Cup round of 16. They were founded in 1992 when they were combined between Copenhagen Bold Club and Copenhagen Bold Klubben.
Hey, I thought you knew Danish.
I did take Danish for like a semester.
How much of that
don't
did you
know.
retain with all the drinking you were
I only
doing?
know Ul is beer. That's basically it. I've told you anything about my study abroad in Denmark.
The important things were covered.
Like, they're tricky. As far as we saw them, we played them. I'm nervous. Let's look at the injuries here. Martinez, he's out still. Malacia out. Shaw's out. Rashford, he's not injured, but he'll be back. Lindelof injured. Sancho is training with the U12s, drinking juice boxes with them. Ahmad injured, and Casemiro. What do you got for your 11?
Boxes. That's funny. This is what I got for my 11, even though I'm probably wrong because he's going to keep McSauce going. Onana, AWB, Varane, Maguire, Rayon, Eriksson, Mount, Bruno. I want to see that midfield. It's like, let's try and dominate possession. Let's try and hold on to it, create chances, and I think this midfield will help. Rashi will be back, Lim on the left, Hoyland up front, and Facundo on the right. Bench Anthony. Bench him, bro. Facundo today showed a lot of heart in getting that goal and getting that ball to Bruno. He deserves a start.
Anthony.
We bought him for a reason, bro.
There's no H.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Anthony. He's so bad, they didn't give him an
I
H.
think like 1,000 podcast listeners just cried out, "Thank you."
He's so
You
bad.
always say
He's so bad they
like
took the H away. I don't know a lot of Anthonys. That's new. It's hard.
No,
The guy
but
from
it's
Jersey,
like-
I'm working on it. If he scored more goals,
so
I'd get
here's
his
the
name
deal:
right.
you're like a huge Varane fan. Varane's getting benched for Evans. You don't care for that. Like that doesn't. You don't. You're not like. You're like a Varane.
Why
love Varane,
don't
right?
you give me your 11 instead of Chris
No, I'm
says
asking.
my 11?
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is like you're a big Varane guy. Like I think Varane is our best center back that we have.
Available.
He's available.
I think Martinez is better than Varane, but
Varane Martinez is the starting combo.
Oh,
like
all
you
day.
like Varane, right? Like you're
I like-
a Varane fan. He's not playing for Evans.
I wouldn't
I'm a
have
little-
signed him. I wouldn't have signed Varane, but I like when he's playing and he's fit. He's a great player. Champions League Varane. He's got a lot of
He's
leadership
like
skills.
one of your top guys on the team.
Don't speak for me, bro.
I know, but
don't tell me who is my top guys. I like Varane, but I don't like him over like 5 other players, 6 other players.
Name the 5 over Varane.
Bruno, Rashford, AWB, Luke Shaw, Martinez, Casemiro, Eriksson.
Ericsson
Højlund.
over. I thought you were. I don't know.
I like him, but he's not like. I'm not
like,
going out and buying a Varane kit. I think the injury.
I thought I thought he had a special place in your heart. I thought for some reason I was
wanted
under the
to sign
impression
him.
you're a big Varane guy.
I like him,
like him a lot. I think he's great. Veteran on the back line.
He's never available though. We pay him top dollar. It was that's another United signing that shouldn't have happened.
If you listen to the pod, we did say that. We
Injuries.
did say that
We
before
said
we
injuries.
signed him.
What is your 11, sir?
But you picked him here. Why not Johnny Evans?
Because I think Varane needs to play. You spend all the money we spend on him. You pay him.
So if Evans
as
starts here, are you like, what?
No, it's odd. Sir, there's odd stuff going on. Trust
That's
me.
what-
And there's a position where it's like, we've seen this move before. We know what managers do when their backs against the wall. They play loyalty players that they know are going to work hard, even if they're inferior to other players available. And that's what we saw to a certain extent with having, I would say, McSauce over Mount. I think Mount would be a better fit, but I think he knows McTominay's a dog, bro. He's going to run himself into the ground, and he did today. And he played decently well, so I think he's picking loyalty. But we need to pick
weird
competency.
11s. Weird 11s.
They are.
Weird
They are
11s.
weird. And I've been defending Eric Ten Hag, and they are definitely weird. And today was another weird one.
I'm going weird. I'm going to go Onana. He's going to get Delo, Evans, Maguire, like Reguilon. I think it's going to be Eriksson, McTominay, Bruno, Rashford, Højlund, and Antony. I think it's just going to be the same thing because it's hard to pick when you're right. These weird 11s, it's hard to pick the lineup from the manager
Because you're not picking the best 11. You're picking like with a skew because, he's picking these oddball 11s. And obviously we have injuries and all kinds of drama that we keep hearing about. So you don't know what he's going to do. I know he could switch it up. He could do the exact same 11 as today.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, what we got on the betting line?
Copenhagen, they're the underdogs, plus 320 at home. The draw, plus 290. And United, minus 125. Whew. I wouldn't touch that line. That's from John, not Alex.
you betting that, huh?
No, I ain't touching that shit with a 10-foot pole.
What's
bro.
the over-under on how many we're going to get here?
When they fire him, you could do all the.
That's good. I thought that was good. Every manager gets one of the.
He's gonna. We already know what his line's gonna be on the intro. Eras come to an end, bro. Look at our eras.
Hey, look, dude. I think he's fighting for his life on his era. We'll see there. Score prediction for me, if I'm being honest, I said we'd beat. I'm trying to call balls and strikes for the record. I said Newcastle would beat us. I said we would beat Fulham. And I think this says draw all over it for me. I'd love to think we got the guts. We got the guts to go to the Parken Stadium and stick it to Copenhagen 3-1, 4-1. Just go absolutely riot. Rashford, brace, Højlund, dunk header. Let's go.
I wish.
In my dreams. But for some reason, we wet noodle show up. I don't know what it is. Maybe the Champions League music can get us through. But I'm going to say 1-1. It's a draw. We're going to Europa League.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Actually, I think it won't be done and dusted with a draw because I think Bayern will batter Galatasaray. But what will mean is you need to go get a win in Turkey and then probably get some kind of result against Bayern at home. I also agree. I was going to say 1-1. I'll call it 2-2, so we don't have the same call. But I think it'll be a draw, and we'll be fighting for our life. We'll have classic United is like we're never out until Game 6. But even then, our backs are against the wall. We're never making it easy for ourselves ever, bro. This club is like always heartburn.
The only thing I can say about Manchester United is that we're not Arsenal and we didn't bottle the title after like 20 years.
You would have taken a year off. I would have been doing this with like some random
I'll
Twitter.
tell you, for everything we've been through,
that would have broke
when
us.
we went to the Emirates and they lost to Brighton and it was over.
They got
fans,
embarrassed by Brighton.
No, but the just like the pain, the emotional trauma, and it's brutal. Like I honestly think like when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lost the final against Villarreal, he was a dead man walking. I think Arteta's a dead man walking. I think it's the same exact thing. He's gone. Like that was the peak. You don't break through on that. You don't come back from
They're
that.
never going to get a better chance.
They're
They're never going to get a better chance to win the title. They're never going to get a better chance to win the
in
title.
sport, you don't come back from that. And just like in sport, for me, where we are at right now with Ten Hag, it's like in order for him to turn this ship around, he's got to somehow qualify for the knockout stages in the
100%,
Champions League.
100%.
He's got to somehow come up with a result against some big teams we're playing in December. And, that's a tall order given the form we're in at the minute. He can do it. These players can do it. Will they do it is the ultimate question, because when things are going against you, usually people wilt. And we need to find some characters in that dressing room and show up and play some good football. United in the news, sir. Shitfootball.com beats earnings by 110%. 110%. We've been playing so much shit football. The growth of shitfootball.com, all-time highs.
All right, get the news. Let's go. I get it.
16 to 17 games. Shit.
Okay, yeah. What do you really think?
It's like goodfootball.com languishing. Just easy on the eyes.
It's like I meant to bust out the on you.
Easy on the eye. Like, bro, we gotta. Okay. Before, oh man, like Tottenham, the Tottenham comeback. Last time you rewatched the United game, what was that like?
Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. Oh yeah.
Like
last time I rewatched a game for this team.
Like rewatch, like it was such a good game. Rewatched it. For me, it was the Tottenham 3-2 comeback with Cavani fighting, obviously Greenwood. I remember Cavani backing up Greenwood and then coming back.
You're not a big rewatch. I watched a ton of games last year over again because we had some good games, bro. Are you kidding me? Arsenal, City, the final. I watched them this year, not so much, but last year we had some good wins.
All right, let's get into the acquisition news. Ratcliffe to invest an extra $300 million into on top of the 25% stake in Manchester United. Ineos chief executive Jim Ratcliffe is looking to invest $300 million in Manchester United's infrastructure, in addition to his $1.5 billion plus offer to buy a 25% stake into the club. According to a person familiar with the matter, the investment is intended for upgrading the club's aging infrastructure and will be financed by the billionaire personally and not add to the Premier League club's existing borrowings. That is very tricky and very strangely worded, because at the end of the day, this will be added to the debt. So basically, Jim Ratcliffe could finance it, right, and give favorable terms of financing to Manchester United, which it sounds like it is, but it's going to be debt in some way, shape, or form if it's not going to be equity invested. So, look, they're going to come up with some creative structure here. At the end of the day, like the $1.5 billion in, it's really how much of that is going to actually go to the club versus just go to secondary, which would be going to directly to the Glazers. So just be careful on these articles. I think the club's like not in a good spot.
You think
they're not going to be able to redo they're going to have to mortgage the house. They're going to have to name the stadium. They're going to have to
take out a
build
big debt facility.
The additions to the stadium are more about adding seats for more money.
Yeah,
like that's the only thing that they're not trying to make the stadium better for the fans. They're trying to make more money so that they can just keep turning over that cash flow, keep addressing the capital structure of this club that is in horrible condition.
Yeah, we don't know the details, and this is all speculation, and this could be like him just trying to butter up the United fans as he's coming in. We have no details yet about nothing, just hearsay, and we're going to find out. Everyone's saying it's coming in the coming weeks, but that could be bullshit too. And this shit might not get sorted until January, February. So we will see. Like you said, if this money is going to invest in the club beyond the $1.5 billion, which I'm sure is all going in the Glazers, he's going to do what would allow him to put more money into the team by raising revenue. And the way you do that is you take the stadium from 75,000 seats to 100,000 seats. And I bet you $250 million would about get you there, or £250 million. So we don't know. I don't know, bro.
No, but the financing is secured against the new revenue that the seats would generate.
Of course.
So it does make sense that you would essentially do that, and that it's not technically, it's like secured to the future revenue of the actual seats, which to me is still secured by Manchester United in some capacity, but they'll do some creative thing.
Debt is debt,
with
right?
it. Exactly. So the whole point is they're just going to keep whoring out United. Like the Ratcliffe coming in is more whoring out United to sponsors. That's all this is for the next, until they sell it, right? It's going to be playing foreign matches like the NFL. It's going to be playing an extra game in the United States. This is what the future of the EPL is going to be. It's a cash grab thing. United will be worth $10 billion when it's sold, maybe be bought by Apple or something like that. Regardless, the only thing with the Jim deal that you're looking for is director of football to come in.
That's right.
Because
and CEO.
Yeah, so you need a new CEO and a new a CEO who can stand up a footballing organization.
Right.
And we're hearing those articles, which is like, so I don't care about the balance sheet. I don't care about the leaks at Old Trafford.
I care about Paul Mitchell, bro.
I care about building a world-class footballing organization, a la like Man Shitty, who poached everyone from Barcelona. You need to basically build that out at Old Trafford. So when we're talking about the Antonys of the world, the horrible signings, player power, manager drama, freezing out Sancho, all this nonsense, that cycle that happened under Moyes, happened under Mourinho, happened under LVG, and it's happening to Erik ten Hag, and it's not fair. That will not be broken until there's a footballing establishment built above the manager. So this whole like pro-manager, anti-manager, I don't care. I want to hire the infrastructure to run this football club in a sane way, who understands where the game has come and where everything has changed. And right now, we're still doing the Alex Ferguson go out and just pay a ton of money for these big name guys, throw them in, and hope it works. It doesn't work anymore. And that's why this infrastructure is critical. If this infrastructure comes in and Erik ten Hag isn't doing a good job and the whole dressing room's a mess and the players are whinging, like the DOF is going to sort it out, and the DOF is probably going to get rid of the manager, and the DOF is going to look at the roster just like Rangnick did and figure out who's worth keeping and who's worth selling, and then they're going to figure out how much it's going to cost to get new guys in and identify that talent and bring it in. So the future of United is based on getting this footballing infrastructure set up and over the long term. What happens to Erik ten Hag doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned, because over the long term, the only thing that's going to break the cycle isn't going to be backing ten Hag out of spite because of the players are fighting with him. It's going to be building a proper recruitment infrastructure that over the next decade will take us to new heights. And there's going to be there's always just going to be new managers at United, and they're going to be coming a dime a dozen, where the director of football is going to take more control from them, so that there's not this crazy, hey, the Dutch guy bought Antony and it failed and all this stuff and all this drama. It's just literally going to be like, United recruits the best young talent in the world. We sell for more than we buy. We build a strong young team that can compete and is deep and leads us to success for many years to come, as well as grow commercially. And that won't happen until this infrastructure comes in.
100%. Sorry, I couldn't have said it better myself. We need to enter the modern era of football, and we've been left behind. We've been sitting in the past. Nostalgia FC. We need to establish a proper footballing structure. We've been talking about this since we started. Since the podcast started, we've been talking about how much of a disservice we've done by having Ed Woodward's in charge, and now Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh, DOF in name only. And they're the ones that need to be replaced first and foremost. Erik ten Hag may or may not be the guy. We're going to find out. But the current regime is not in a position to make that determination. Bring in talented folks who have done it before at top clubs around Europe. They'll be the one that make a decision, A, if and when to fire the guy, and who to bring in next, and also like how to have continuity across the two managers and make sure like what positions need to be strengthened, how we kind of focus on scouting and where, and also have a certain profile of players that are looking for. No more 30-year-olds that are getting basically bumper deals like into retirement as their knees go. We need to be buying young, hungry players that don't have the ego yet, have the determination, that hunger of the Højlund and less so of the Casemiros and Varans. Even though they're world-class players that won so much, is like that's not the kind of players we need to be buying at this stage, because we just need players who are going to work hard. And whether it's under Erik ten Hag or the next guy, they just got to be willing to do that graft, and we got to stop overpaying for fidget spinner FC, bro, because those are backbreakers. 72 million on Sancho, 85 million on fucking Antony, and both those guys are not working out. That will kill a club.
No, absolutely. And, the thing that's kind of sad is that, all the fans is like focusing on like Ten Hag, players, this, that. It's like literally the fight is for the boardroom. The fight is for control of footballing operations at Manchester United. And it's not like Mourinho versus Pogba, LVG and the Glazers, like all this stuff. And every manager who leaves, they say, Ole left. Oh, I wanted to sign Haaland. I wanted to sign this guy. LVG left. I wanted this and that. The managers are bluffers too, dude. They have egos. They lie. Come on. I like those guys.
They do. They're all.
Erik ten Hag's going to leave and be like, I wanted to sign, insert all these great players that come out here, and actually it's this and that. And they blame everybody else. And
they've all done that.
They've all done that.
They all five of them.
And that's the whole point, is that in the modern era, managers cannot compete by themselves trying to build a roster with £400 million. Now, has Erik ten Hag spent $400 million? Yeah. Has he spent it well? No. But managers can't do that anymore. That's not how teams or football clubs run. And Manchester United has not evolved from the era where Fergie, you can come in and sign these big names that are undervalued, to be honest. The players we bought in the market when we did, Wayne Rooney for $30 million, undervalued. Even Rio Ferdinand, et cetera. Everything
RVP.
worked out, and the team just kept winning and getting more successful. Now the jig is up. Now all the teams in Europe are investing in buying all these young, talented players throughout the entire world and then selling them to the big clubs who are going we're going bankrupt by buying them. We need to get into the youth development game. We need to get in the young player game. We need to get into the deep, how many right backs we got. We got so many coming through. We can sell one, generate funds to buy number 9 if we're lacking there, filling the gaps. That's the structure that we need at United, and right now we're so ass backwards. We're pre-rebuild. That's what I'm trying to say with Ten Hag. I'm not really worried about this drama right now. Sancho throwing his toys out the Prem, Eric Ten Hag going strong arm. This isn't going to matter at the end of the day. Because what's going to happen is someone's going to come in, they're going to assess it, make calls, and then we're going to start the rebuild. This season is pre-rebuild.
I know.
Next year's rebuild. Sell Anthony for 30. Sell Magoo for 20. Like, bleeding out. Like, these are the big calls that are going to be made in a year. The rebuild's going to start in a year. Then we're going to be even worse.
Yep.
And there's probably going to be another manager.
And then another
Eric
one.
Ten Hag didn't sign up to be a director of football's just baby bitch sitting on the sideline while he makes all the calls. It's all ego game. Ratcliffe's coming in, chopping heads. DOF come in, he's going to chop heads. Everyone needs to show their dominance as they come in this new organization. Heads are going to roll. There's going to be turmoil. The rebuild hasn't even started yet. We're like, what's going to happen in this club, hopefully, with Ratcliffe, will absolutely break the cycle that we saw for the last decade. All these managers failing, all these managers buying bad, everything going sideways, fighting in the locker room. It's all going to go away if we can get this infrastructure in place. Fans just need to see it. This is what we need to be fighting for. This is what you got to be paying attention to.
No, this is the most important thing that's happening in the club, other than like the prospect of getting the Glazers out, which is not happening. But having Ratcliffe in charge of football operations and not just being like an absolute trust fund baby fucking moron like those 6 idiots. He's going to put people in place that know what they're doing, that have done it before, and not just yes men that were accountants that were like, hey, you can be a CEO. Hey, you were like some idiot from Everton. You could be our DOF. Fuck it. You'll do whatever I say. Like you said, the rebuild has not even begun. I think that is so well put. We have so many years left and so many players to ship out, so many players to buy, some of which will work, some of which won't, even if you know what you're doing. They don't all work. It's just that you can't be doing like 80 million clicks. They got to be 25, 30 million, because then you could spread it around the table a little bit more. Instead, we've been like chips in. Sancho one summer, Anthony the next, and when they don't go well, it's a mess. So there's a lot of work to do at this club. The most important thing is getting expertise in the front office. We talk about it all the time because we spent the money. We've just pissed it down the drain with very little to show for it. Spend more money than City, and we have a team that's like leagues below it. So I can't wait for some competency to come to Manchester United. That's what I've been yearning for over a decade since we lost Fergie and Alex Gill.
And the first thing the director of football has to do is he literally has to destroy these bad contracts.
Yeah.
Because you have to get your arms around the wage bill.
Yep.
And you have to understand exactly like where the wage cap is going to be in the locker room, because Rashford on 3-something is like selling. He's got to go to PSG. Like, I love Marcus Rashford, but you got to get rid of that contract. You can't have that in the locker room. You can't have somebody making double and then they throw their toys out the Prem, creates all the issues. So all this player power bullshit that Ten Hag is unfairly dealing with is due to these giant wage contracts that Sancho and Varane and Casemiro and Rashford all have.
Yep.
And that gives them power to throw their toys, do what they want, flex on the manager, and the director of football has to address all of that. And that's what the infrastructure will help you deal with at the end of the day. There's just such a complicated problem. And look, Eric Ten Hag, I think he's a good coach. I think if we had this infrastructure and he was here, everything would look different. I think the football would look different. I think the players on the pitch would be a lot better. I think the $400 million would have gone a long way. I don't think there would be a bunch of players throwing his toys out the Prem, but this is the bullshit that he's dealing with. And at the end of the day, it's tough to watch and it's tough to look at the result on the pitch.
So you nailed it. You're so reasonable today. It's making my heart swell.
So you know what? We got all out at dinner last night. Like, if
You make me feel so good. It's like you're so reasonable right now, and I couldn't agree more. It's like he's set up for failure. He may not be the guy, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We need a front office that's competent, and you go through managers. There has to be continuity across it.
But all I hear everywhere just like Ten Hag, this, that, players. It's
all
like
they talk
you
about.
gotta talk about like what we need to
No, they
succeed
never
over the
talk
next
about-
decade.
I
You
know.
gotta be thinking decades. and we got to just shift the priority. Speaking of shift the priority, we want to buy Ivan Toney for $72 million in January. This is nuts. You can't pay this much money for Ivan Toney.
That's Rasmus Højlund's fee. They're quoting. You ready for this, sir?
100
million pounds.
Yeah, you don't do this.
No,
this is not what you do.
You buy the guy. Where is he at? Porto, the Iranian striker, who's like a decent. He's like a workman striker. This is what we talked about going into the season, bro. When they're like, "Hey, we got this kid Højlund. We overpaid for him. He's young. He's upside. We're banking on upside, but we got Tony Martial on the wing as like our backup. Tony Martial going to the season. I was shouting about this like he was not enough. We needed another striker because look, he's on the fucking wall. We really like Tony Martial, rooting for him for 8 years, but he's not good enough, not even close to good enough. The guy can't even run around a game without hurting himself. And
he's not the issue, but we
need strikers.
You're just taking him to the shed.
We're not scoring goals. We've only scored one goal from attackers.
He gets it, dude.
He gets paid $250,000 pounds a week.
Højlund needs to score, bro.
He does.
I've seen him get the ball in dangerous areas. Not a lot coming out of it. Do I expect anything? No, I don't expect anything because he's a young kid.
He hasn't got much service, to be fair.
He had the ball today in a dangerous area. Heavy touches. Look, he's not. Look, here's the deal. He's young. He shouldn't have to be He shouldn't be a 70 million pound man to score for United, but he is, and that's the fucking problem with
this shit. Like you said 10 minutes ago, he should have been 45 instead. He was 72 or whatever he was, 75.
The real article that makes me concerned is the Kobe Mainu to Man Shitty. This one, I feel like Pep doesn't even want him. He just wants to fucking rub it in, and that's true. And this one would,
This will be a backbreaker. Kobe Mainu's the real deal.
It doesn't matter.
He's not going to save the club, but
we need to make money, bro. We need to start selling. If they're going to pay something stupid for him, like $60 million, I would sell him for 60.
Let's give him a chance to play some football games first for us.
But if you want to, you get some Abu Dhabi money, 60, 70 million.
Yeah, but if we're pissing that down the drain, let's get the front office in
I'll
first.
be like, you have to take Anthony.
Let's get take Anthony.
You got to take Anthony
and Sancho. Take their wages. We'll give you Kobe for free. Now, I want to keep Kobe. He's 18, bro, and people are talking him up like he's the next real deal for the club.
Of course, I want to keep him, but we got to start thinking about
but we're not that
making
broke,
money.
Bro. We're not that broke.
They
got to sell. There's so many bluffers to sell before you sell him.
Nobody are going to buy the bluffers.
I know.
No one wants the bluffers.
I know because they're overpaid bums.
So I think we did the Højlund over under. I think we said over 10 goals. I said under. I think you went over 10.
I think I pushed. I think I did 10.
Either way, I'm losing that back. But yeah, no,
I don't know if we've made any stakes.
At Jack Bourne 86, quote, a proper snooze fest, sir. There's not enough coffee in the world to get excited about Anthony on the right. Look, I started making my own cold brew.
This guy.
It's really strong.
Tell everybody about your cold brew.
It can get you through. If you can't tell, we drank it before the pod.
Fired up.
And it can get you through a United game. You just need the ratio of coffee to water 5. So it's super
5x.
Super
5x.
concentrated. It's
funny.
1 part coffee to 5 parts water, and it's get you fired up. It could get you excited about watching that shit United football. At Moneyline Jesus, it wasn't pretty. Got screwed by VAR, but they deserve. But the Zaire was better, not great, but better. I like that angle.
It's true, not great. But not
also,
great,
we got the 3 points. We'll take this and grow and move on to Copenhagen. Need a string of multiple good performances together, but it's a start. Come on, United. Look,
thank you, Jesus.
Moneyline Jesus.
Makes me feel better.
Part of me is like
that tweet.
You get a nervy win against Fulham and you get curb stomped against Copenhagen. You're like, how did I ever believe in this goddamn team? He's like Copenhagen 3-0.
Stop it. Don't even say it.
But I'm just saying.
I know.
It's either going to be glorious or it's going to be horrible.
That's cup half full.
During the work
I'm sure there's some cup.
Nobody needs that while they're working, bro.
Give me some cup half empties.
At Golf Pro _X2, it's absolutely criminal that Palestri doesn't get more game time. This isn't the first time this season he's come on as a sub for Anthony and did more in 15 minutes than Anthony did all game. Also played a huge part in Bruno's winning goal. Play the kid more, sir. What do you think about it?
Agree. That's why I picked him for the 11 Copenhagen, bro. He came on. He didn't just give the kind of side assist to Bruno. He was fighting for that ball. He kept the ball in play, and they're the reason that we got the shot and the goal in the first place. So he shows the fight. He's also 2-footed. He takes players on. He's got the graft. He isn't overpaid. He seems like a really good kid. There's no controversy around him like there was around Anthony.
Wow, there's so many tweets negative about Anthony.
He was terrible. He was terrible.
I want to tell you
terrible today.
that last season I killed the guy And then the feedback was like, you got to stop killing
Well, he
Anthony.
scored against
now
Arsenal.
everyone's on.
Yeah, he scored against Arsenal. He scored
but
against.
I was right. Is the
He
point.
scored against Barcelona. He scored some big goals that probably
How long ago
papered
was that,
over.
bro? Like
That was
Barcelona.
That was in February. That
Was that Europa League?
Yeah, that was
Was
February.
that Europa League.
February.
Really? So it's like, yeah, he's a bluffer.
And we'll be able to sell him for
you know,
20 if we're lucky.
At Dantes Inferno, we need to offload Anthony ASAP. Realistically, how long before we can offload him? 2 to 3 seasons? I don't think you can. I think that like you're looking at Casemiro 2026. Like
Varane 27.
Like there's no one. Like if I was running the place, I would try to sell them for nothing. And then if I couldn't, I'd buy down their contracts.
If I was running
It's
the
a
place,
buy down the contract. It's like, we owe you 40 million. We'll pay you 30. You can go now.
if I was running the place, I'd go to Riyadh and just be making. I'd be like glad-handed everybody. Be like, hey, have you heard about this kid?
No, I would just buy down the
You got to
contract.
sell. It's called the foist. Sir, you got to foist them on the Saudis.
They can't buy down the contracts because they don't have the cash and need the amortization.
It's a lot of
right?
money.
That's the problem. At Red Devil Woody, we committed a crime here. Rob Fulham blind with that dirty stoppage time goal. We won ugly today. AWB was poor. Anthony terrible. We got the 3 points. This club needs a rocket up their asses. Could have been a cricket score if we played a decent club. Copenhagen next. I think Red Devil Woody does say it right that if it was a better team, we would have gotten done. And I really do think that that's the case. We are playing bad against bad teams, and like these narrow wins against Sheffield United away, Wolves at home. It's like the 2 or 3 goal comeback against Nottingham Forest where we played bad. It's like these are the wins that are papering over the cracks, and they're not like good teams. And it's like every time we play a good team, it's like 3-0.
Well, we're not playing well. And you know what? We're got to go up from here. We've had a really shit season so far with a lot of injuries, but we're the exact same place we are a year ago. And that tells you that, like, don't give up hope yet. And guess what? Last year, the best team in the league was on 30 points. Right now, the best team in the league is on 27 points. So it's like we're even closer to the top, even though obviously we're not winning the league. So I agree. There's issues everywhere, but it's not all lost yet. It's not all lost yet. We still have a lot to play for, and both in the
It's
Champions
not all
League,
lost on a results basis, but from the amount of cold brew
it
you gotta
has to
drink
get
watch
better.
the
I
game.
agree. It was 5:30 in the morning. I was dying, bro. I saw the goal get overturned, and I went back to sleep.
I
on the
will
couch.
say it's like masochism, you know. It's like you're just like it's like watching this team for over this many games. Sir, like say, where's the LVG?
soundboard's up.
In sex masochism, then it is allowed.
He was the GOAT for that. His interviews were incredible stuff. You know, you can say about Dutch guys being dry as toast without butter.
Long balls.
He was even more entertaining than Jose, bro. He said
him
the
slapping
craziest
gigs,
shit.
like
wait.
slapping
I got more.
We have twitched our ass on the bench.
I thought
Can we get
was
him on the
alright.
pod? Let's get him on the pod.
I thought we fired LV. Like I thought we fired LVG.
We played dreadful football, to be fair. And he was set up to fail because he was the head of recruitment, and he
No, I
signed
thought
some
we
bad
played.
signings.
I actually thought we fired him too soon because we were playing the style of play that he wanted. It took like 18 months to get there, and then firing him when we did was. I felt like we kind of like got to that style and then built for that, and then we fired him, and then it was like Mourinho came in. It was and then we just don't go all in on anybody. And that's why we need the director. That's why we need a director of football.
100%.
Sir, that's it. That's the pod. You like the American Red Devils? You want to support for fans, by fans content? Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/American Red Devils, AmericanRedDevils.store. Get your Eric Ten Hag Red Army scarf while they're around. Sir, you got our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
I do indeed. Number 1, how you doing? Dublin, Ireland. Birmingham, England. Appreciate you. New York. Toronto, England. Jesus Christ. Toronto, Canada. Melbourne, Australia. Los Angeles, California. Philadelphia, PA. Portland, Oregon. Houston, Texas. And London, England. Yeah, that's in England. London. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Eating that shit football sandwich week in, week out. If you're here, you're an OG. Got to get better at some point. I don't think I'm not sure it'll get better on Wednesday, but Jesus Christ, I got to keep telling myself it's got to get better.
It's like it's like it's like the
Gotta get better.
Was it
Gotta get
Sideshow
better.
Bob
Gotta
stepping
get
on the
better.
rakes?
Yeah.
That's what this season feels like.
Doi.
All right, we're gonna leave you with United Clip. So everyone have a great week. On to Copenhagen. Let's go.
Hangover. John took 40 against the Fine. Have you got a hangover?